Hello and welcome to another episode of the Contractor Grow Show. My name is Mark. Today I'm speaking with Alan Lochridge at the Stone Man in Charlotte, North Carolina. Alan, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, so you guys are just highly decorated. You guys are up to some amazing stuff in Charlotte. Maybe you can just kind of tell our listeners, what service you provide and kind of your location, kind of radius where you guys are working.
Sure, thanks. Yeah, we do residential outdoor living spaces across the Charlotte metro area. It covers a little bit into South Carolina and all the way up to Lake Norman on the north side of Charlotte. Highly focused on outdoor living spaces for the homeowners, patios, porches, fire features, water features, and then covered structures and pergolas and so forth to go with that. And a heavy emphasis on custom stonework.
Amazing. Yeah, you guys have a beautiful website. I mean, just, beautiful presentation of you guys' work. So regarding is it just stonework? I mean, you guys don't do any necessarily like getting into landscaping. I mean, it's kind of landscaping design and building the
Yeah.
spaces themselves.
Yeah, where the genesis of our company was the custom stonework, but that's led itself to doing pavers and other sort of man-made products as well. But we'll do the landscaping. We really want to be able to encompass the entire backyard, so we'll do pool installations as well, and like I said, covered areas that are attached or detached from the home, really to kind of create that oasis in the backyard, that sort of recreational space away from the office and from the outside. To be able to go outside your house and have a whole other opportunity, another room.
Amazing. So, I mean, did things, it seems like here in the last 5 years, especially, but over the last, 10, 15 years, I've talked with some other folks in kind of a similar space. And it's amazing how many kind of new products, new offerings that are coming out. And it seems like, especially since COVID, I mean, did you guys see kind of explosive growth and folks spending more time at home, working from home? I mean, has that kind of changed things in the last 5 years for you guys?
Yeah, we definitely think that folks have been a heavier focus on home, especially the immediate aftermath of COVID, where vacations were canceled and trips abroad were canceled, and people were focused on more time with the family. So we were doing a lot of work in that space. I do think it's continued on as folks have really recognized the value of having that in their backyard, and they want to continue to expand it. And we're in a market in Charlotte where our outdoor spaces are comfortable to be in. 10 out of 12 months a year. There's really only a few weeks where it's probably too cold that you're not going to use it. So if it's a functional space. It's a real nice add-on to the folks down here in this market, and we continue to get pretty good response and plenty of project work to do.
Yeah, I can see that. Did you guys, let me ask, how many folks do you guys have on your team right now?
We've got about a dozen on our team, and like most general contractors, we operate with a subcontractor model. So we've got a lot of individual crews and carpentry crews and masonry crews that are subcontracted out to us. But those folks have been partners with us for a long time, so we've got really good relationships with them. So some of them more than 15 years.
Wild. And you bought the business in 2001?
That's right. Yeah, from the prior owner who had it. It started about 20 years prior. So we're ticking on about 25 years old now.
Wild. Were you in the similar space in the trades or in something related before that, or?
I had been years ago, but then went into some financial services and some of those consulting areas, which are heavily based here in Charlotte. But after a prior company was acquired, I had an opportunity to kind of get out of that and restart with something different, something that was a little more focused on what I enjoy kind of day to day doing. And it was a good opportunity. I happened to know the prior owner, although I wasn't realized he was selling it. But I actually knew the prior owner when I found that he was selling it. It was a good fit.
So I saw that you guys have got just a ton of 5-star reviews. I mean, we're the
Yeah.
Contractor Grow Show here. We're always kind of curious how folks have are creating so much goodwill in the marketplace. What is your kind of philosophy around? I mean, the way that you take care of folks. I mean, you guys are right at 5 stars, 126 reviews, some other reviews in some other places as well. How do you guys look at sort of fulfilling projects so that folks are just such raving fans for you guys when you're complete?
Sure. A big part of it is the whole experience that we provide to customers along the way. we have on-site meetings with them before we even design the project to really understand how they're going to use it. We do a full 3D design service for them so they can kind of get a feel for what it's going to look like. We talk about material selection and modify that design to some extent the best we can. So we've got a lot of upfront work, and then before we even start the project, we're doing pre-construction meetings. We're laying things out for the customer, so they're seeing a lot of it before we actually ever dig. And we try to be excessively communicative. We've got a project manager that meets with them every day on site that we're doing the work, so they always have that touch point. And ultimately, we've got core values of listening, care, and do the right thing for our homeowners. And there's probably times where we do more than we were contractually obligated to do, but ultimately the cost of those is pretty nominal when you compare the value that we get from reputational and brand awareness and just creating a different experience for homeowners than they may have had in the past with other contractors.
That's fantastic. I've taken a look at you guys, website. It's gorgeous. We rarely see sites that guys in the home service space have that is really like as kind of exquisite as yours is. And I get the sense, just looking at reviews and things, that it's just a really well run company. Yeah. Did you bring background from some of your other work in the past? Have you studied business? How have you kind of figured this all out over the years?
Well, I think, spending time in consulting business and so forth, there's always that effort to kind of generate new customers and trying to generate customer value, and reputation being of utmost importance. And so we want to push that reputation through the brand, through the website, through everything we do, so that there is that recognition in the marketplace of who we are and what we bring. We're not going to be the lowest price person. We know that going into it. And I don't think most of our homeowners are okay with that. Because they know they're going to get the value, they're going to get the warranty, they're going to get the high touch service, they're going to have a really good experience throughout, and ideally not frustrated like they may be otherwise. So yeah, prior experience I think helped with that. Kind of understanding of what the expectation is. I've also outsourced a lot of that marketing, so I know what I'm good at and what I'm not good at. And there are other firms out there that do a better job keeping up with the trends in marketing, the changes in Google search optimization and advertising on Instagram and Facebook and those kinds of things that drive a lot of that. So I think it's about understanding my core competency and the team's core competency of being able to design and deliver a great experience around outdoor living spaces, and leave the marketing to somebody who can really spend the time to focus on that, because it would be all consuming if I was attempting to do it on my own.
100%. And so you've been on some podcasts. You're a speaker for the entrepreneur through acquisition community. Is that right?
I have, yeah. There's a local community started by Sean Blanchard here in Charlotte that kind of pulled together some ETA folks, most folks in search of a business. And so he's had a lot of folks on a monthly occurrence speak. And then he asked me to speak to that group late last year, a precursor to Walker Diebel, who came in a few months ago. So he was the one that sort of wrote the Bible on acquisition, entrepreneurship through acquisition. So hopefully that was a good lead in for him.
Fantastic. Well, on that, in that community, I think you're actually described as an athletic beast.
That's
right?
Probably Sean. Yeah. I just tend to do a lot of running events. I've got a core group of friends that will do some long distance relay races. So they're 200-mile relay races. Either done them here in the Blue Ridge Relays several times, and then we also went out west and did the Hood to Coast in Oregon. So it's a good group of guys. So when you're doing those running events and there's 30 hours straight of somebody in your team running, not me personally, but we rotate through. So we'll go out there and do that.
Can I ask you? We're serious about health here and being like super fit, and I've actually heard it described as if a CEO of a company isn't focusing at least at some level on fitness, like his board of directors should talk to him. That's an extreme kind of view, and folks are at all different levels with that. But you running the company and you making the important decisions, important calls on things. How do you think about that type of topic? Athleticism, again, not, certainly folks everyone's where they're at with that, but it's clearly a really important thing for you. Do you think that being super fit is an important piece actually of the work that you do and how you're able to bring the energy to the job and lead?
I do think it's an important factor, for my personal lifestyle. I mean, I think that most individuals or many individuals take on roles like this. It's it can be high stress. It can be a lot of time, a lot of work hours, and I think that's the outlet to have. And it's a good opportunity to kind of get out and get that release, versus keeping it bottled up. And so it's just good to kind of focus on that. And for me, it's usually early in the morning. So early in the 5 o'clock hour, getting out there to run or exercise. Um, it also does help moderate bad food and bad drink in the evening, because you got to get up that early.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Which is good for decision making.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, Alan, in the here over the next few years, what does the future look like for you guys in terms of? I mean, are you kind of in growth expansion mode at all, or are you guys kind of got your team and your thing really dialed in terms of
Yeah,
like
we've got it.
you're up?
Yeah, we've got a great team, and we continue to expand the team and try to drive more. I mean, I think there's more opportunity in this market to grow. We've over the past few years kind of expanded our offerings, like I said earlier, into pool building, into landscaping, and things that we had historically had not done. And so those have created additional revenue streams and opportunities to engage with clients and be able to do that backyard. So we really look at doing like the holistic backyard. So I think there's plenty of room and a few more years to grow and learn here in Charlotte market. Beyond that, we'll probably have to jump markets. Charlotte, it's pretty finite, you know, 45 minutes or so from the center of the city, pretty much the limits of the type of homeowner that we're going to get to. And then you've got to jump to another city. So there might be a future where we'll jump to Raleigh or to Greenville, South Carolina, or something like that. That would be the next sort of foray into that. But we're probably a few years out before we get to that point.
Gotcha. Well, fantastic. Well, folks, if you're listening to this, if you're a contractor thinking about, kind of updating your website, definitely take a look at their website at stonemanrocks.com. It's absolutely glorious, the work that they're doing. And if you're, listening to this, if you're in the Charlotte area and looking for a great company to work with for hardscaping and all of the larger kind of outdoor living space, beautiful fountain work and just a wide array of beautiful services that the Stoneman offers. Alan, what are the best ways for folks to get in touch with you if they're looking for your service or if they want to be on a great team?
Both options are available right on our website. We've got a link there that you can, ask details about a project, and there's also an application link that you can upload a resume for us at the same place. So we definitely like to drive all that traffic to the website because we think we spend a lot of time kind of collecting that photography and the imagery that's going on the website. We want to engage folks there, so it's more meaningful when they really kind of have an understanding of what they're going to get before we even call them.
Fantastic. Yeah, take a look at their portfolio over at Stoneman Rocks. Well, fantastic, Alan. Thank you so much for taking your valuable time to be here with us today, and wishing the best for you guys here in the next year or two.
Okay. Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.